Hello and welcome to our third lecture of learning C++. Today we are going to learn about the data types and variables. First of all, I'm going to open dev C++ and then I'm going to open a new source file so that we can start our work, and I will explain you about the data types and the variables. As this code I have explained you in my previous video, so I will not touch it, and it will be written as it is, and whatever I need to include extra I will explain it, and I will include that library whatever I want to use in this program. IOStream is a must library because we take input or output almost in every program, so I use it almost every time. I am also including standard library because it is used to convert from one data type to another and number of other functionalities. And now I'm going to include the string library, which will give me the access to the string class standard library functions. And as I have written using namespace std, it will be written as it is, and then I will start coding inside the main function that you will see on your screens. Today I will not do any coding. I will just explain you the data types, their declarations and variables. I am declaring a variable of data type integer, and I'm giving it a name, whatever name it is, ABC for example I'm writing, and then I'm giving it a value. I have assigned this variable a value. Now as you can see the syntax on your screen, whenever we declare a variable, we tell the computer that this amount of memory you have to reserve for this variable, and the amount of memory that is reserved depend on the data type, and whatever we can store in that variable is also dependent on that data type. Now as I write int, which is the data type, I told that then I write the name ABC. By that I told that computer that you have to name a memory by ABC. As I can name a child, I am naming a memory by the name ABC, and its type is int. I can only store inside this ABC ints. It's a container, or you can call it a memory named. I can store only inside that integer because I have used the data type integer, and its length of that memory is also dependent on this data type. I can name this variable by anything using numbers and letters, but not the arithmetics. You can see that I have written, and the start is a data type, and now the second thing is its name, and then this is the initial value that I have assigned it. It's not necessary to assign this an initial value. I can change it as that I am changing now. Now you can see that I have changed the variable ABC value to 2. First I have assigned this the value of 0. Now I have changed this to 2. Now we will move on, and I will explain you the more data types. Today I have explained you about the variables. As I told you, the variable is the name of the memory that we told the computer it have to reserve for a specific purpose. Now we discuss the bool type variable. The bool keyword is used for the data type boolean. It can store only the data type, only the value true or false, nothing else. Only two values, 1 0, or you can say 1 0 or true false, nothing else. Boolean cannot store anything else. The second variable is the character variable. Char is used for the character variable, and I can store only a single alphabet or character. I can see more specifically a character. A single character can be stored inside char variable. Now, as you can see, if I have to write more characters, I have to declare an array that we will discuss later in further other lectures. The basic data type is character. Then I'm going to explain you the next data type, int. Inside this we can only store numbers, nothing else. As I have written the integer data type on top of this, and I'm telling you that integer can store only the numbers, nothing else, and it have limits. We cannot store the anything greater than the limit of this integer. Then there is a subtype of integer which is you can call short. Basically it is also a short integer. It can store less value than integer, and I can name it whatever, because whatever I will name will become a variable of the data type that I have written in start of that name. Now I'm declaring another variable of another data type which is long. Long is another data type which is you can say derived from integer. It can store almost the double, or you can say for precisely larger integer. It have the more capacity to store more bigger number. Then the next data type is float. Float can store point numbers. You can say every number that is in points can be stored in float. And it can store up to precisely up to six characters after point. And then the next is double. Double is also similar like float, but it can store greater amount than float. There is no other difference, as the difference was between long and integer. The same difference is between float and double. Integer can store smaller value, long can store larger value of the decimal number. But if you move to the float, it can store the numbers in float from a smaller float number, and then the double can store the larger number in point. Now if we revise, you can say if I declare any variable, I have to write the data type in start and then name that variable. By naming that variable, I tell the computer you have to reserve the memory for this name, and I can store inside it the amount of data that is specified by the data type of that variable. Today's lecture I will conclude here. If you like my work, please like this video, subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.